A massive collision is coming. We're building the most powerful AI in history on a power grid from the 1970s. Data centers are exploding, and by 2030, AI could gobble up 12% of America's total power. Insiders are calling it the silent power surge. If the grid breaks, the AI revolution stops. But why is this collision happening in the first place? The US grid runs on one core assumption: power demand is predictable. People wake up and demand rises. Night comes and demand drops, like a heartbeat, steady, controlled. That's how the system was designed in the 1950s and 60s. Think of it like a one-lane highway. Traffic flows in patterns you can predict. Now imagine adding thousands of trucks that never stop. That's AI. AI doesn't sleep or slow down at night. It demands near-perfect stability, because even momentary fluctuations can crash systems worth billions. And here's what most people miss. It's not just computation, it's heat. Think of a data center like a car engine running at full speed forever. It would melt without cooling. So cooling systems run constantly, which means for every 3 units of computing, you need a fourth just to keep the servers from melting. This is the structural flaw. AI needs power at a scale that the grid was never built to deliver. And it gets worse. This isn't even one connection, it's 3. The Eastern, Western, and Texas interconnections. They barely connect. So when one region is overloaded, you can't just send power from somewhere else. Let's look at Northern Virginia, one of the largest internet hubs in the world, and now it's hitting limits. Utility provider Dominion Energy has already warned. New data centers may face delays of 3 to 7 years just to connect, not because companies don't want to build, but because the grid physically can't handle more load. That's not slow growth, that's a hard limit. But Virginia isn't an outlier. Now look at Texas. Its grid, run by ERCOT, is isolated, no backup from other states. And we've already seen what happens under stress. During the 2021 Texas freeze, millions lost power. That was just residential demand. Now we're adding industrial-scale AI load on top of it. Same system, higher pressure, higher risk. So why not just expand the grid? Because you can't do it fast enough. Building new transmission lines takes 10 to 15 years. Permits, land, regulation. Even if you approve it today, you don't get capacity tomorrow. And there's another bottleneck: transformers. Every unit of electricity passes through them. In the early 2020s, a transformer took 2 years to arrive. Today, that wait has stretched to 5 years. Think about the math. AI hardware cycles move in 18-month sprints, but the physical grid moves in multi-year crawls, like we are trying to run a supersonic engine on a wooden chassis. Without them, you can't connect new power plants, expand transmission, or plug in new data centers. So even if you had enough electricity, you still couldn't deliver it. This is the infrastructure time trap. Demand moves fast, but infrastructure moves slow. This gap is already showing up. In Georgia Power requested 17 times more generating capacity than originally planned. That's not gradual growth, that's a system shock. The Georgia surge became the industry's warning shot that forced a nationwide debate over whether these massive energy demands are a roadmap for growth or a hostage note for local economies. It set a high-stakes precedent. When the grid hits a wall, the question isn't just how to build more, but who is forced to pay. To find the answer, you have to look deeper into the system. When PJM Interconnection saw capacity prices spike to record highs in its latest auction, that wasn't just demand rising. It was the system trying to hold itself together by entering what some call a zombie phase. To keep the lights on for data centers, operators are paying record sums to keep ancient coal and gas plants on life support long after they were meant to retire. And here's the ultimate irony. To manage this chaos and find space for new data centers, grid operators have started using AI tools like Hyperq to study the grid faster. We are now using AI to solve the crisis that AI created. The snake is starting to eat its own tail. This is where it hits you. Utilities don't absorb all these upgrade costs. They distribute them across everyone. In places like Virginia, electricity bills have already risen faster than inflation in recent years. Northern Virginia residents are effectively helping fund over $2 billion in new transmission infrastructure, built largely to support data centers in Data Center Alley. And here's the part most people miss. At the same time, those same data centers often receive tax incentives. So the system works like this. AI demand rises, infrastructure expands, and part of that cost gets passed to you. In Festus, Missouri, residents voted half their city council out of office for approving a $6 billion data center development, not because they opposed technology, because they understood who would actually pay for it. You're not just paying for electricity anymore, you're helping fund the system AI runs on. And now the bigger risk. It's not just cost, it's failure. If the grid fails today, it doesn't fail alone. When data centers go offline, the cloud services drop, stalling financial systems and freezing the logistics networks. It's not a blackout, but a chain reaction. Modern life runs on systems that depend on data centers, that depend on electricity from a grid built before the internet existed. What about renewables? Solar and wind are growing faster than ever, but they have a fatal flaw for AI: intermittency. AI can't wait for the wind to blow or the sun to rise. It needs a massive, steady baseload. And battery storage at the scale needed, storing enough energy to run thousands of servers through a cloudy, windless week, doesn't exist at any practical cost yet. Renewables are part of the solution, but they can't replace what the grid needs right now. This has sparked a new era of energy sovereignty. Tech giants are no longer just customers of the grid. They are trying to build their own solutions. Amazon and Google are pouring billions into small modular nuclear reactors. Meanwhile, Microsoft is betting on a ghost from the past, 3 Mile Island. Now rebranded as the Crane Clean Energy Center, the plan is to bring the reactor back to life by 2027. But here's the bottleneck. The grid operator, PJM, has signaled that the massive transmission upgrades required won't be finished until 2031. That's a 4-year stalemate, a nuclear reactor sitting hot and ready, but a grid that literally cannot take its power. That's the gridlock slowing down the future. And the companies building AI knew that, but they built it anyway. Every AI search, every generated image, every smart response runs on infrastructure that is already under strain. This isn't just a tech boom, it's a collision that was bound to happen. And right now, the system is holding on, but the cracks are starting to show. That's the system. Blueprint revealed.